Hey guys, it's me here, Reem. This video I like to talk about simply the principle of a so-called database. With that I mean a collection of numbers, that represent your interactions with women. Of course, on your phone, on your WhatsApp, on your Facebook, whatever. Where mostly WhatsApp. So the idea is that the more contacts you have, the more abundant you live. It's really that one-on-one, guys. I've been talking to a lot of women recently here on the streets, and I immediately saw the huge effect it has on my sense of abundance. And actually, not only sense, but the real abundance. For example, it is now Sunday morning, and yesterday evening I had two dates planned. One was around 6:30 finally, and another one was later that night at 10 even. And what happened that, and it's quite common in Medellin, but I still like to take my own responsibility on those things, but it seems quite common that women are very flaky here. So they cancel dates, they are very disorganized when it comes to meeting men, and they plan multiple things at the same time and simply let know nothing. They don't cancel, they just 1 or 2 days before it's silent, and 3 days after the planned day there is maybe a message, maybe not, like a hola, hey, something like that. And it's quite common here in the culture. Of course we have our own contribution in that, and I always keep looking for that in an easy and mild way, but it is quite common here. I've also experienced it much more than usually. However, the database, what's the idea? What happened is, yesterday I got met the first girl from Tinder around dinner time. So we had a little bit of a meal, and right away I could sense there was a lot of sexual tension going on. And at the same time, the first minute actually, she was touching me and she was open, and it was like, wow, like we knew each other, we knew each other, and we had that kind of similar, like, I recognize you, you recognize me, I know that you recognize me, and I know that you know that I know that you recognize me. So there's a lot of things going on right at that moment. I also knew that because I live very close by to that place, like, wow, she's just gonna be home. Like, I knew it. So we had a little meal, we had a little wine, and right after we move on. And at that time I was a little bit limited with my time because I expected this other girl to show up, which finally did not happen. She, I didn't went to the toilet to have a look if she would come. I just assumed she would come because we had a great encounter before, and I didn't expect her in this case to flake. Normally it happens with girls I have not been intimate with. So this was kind of a surprise. But my response after was interesting because I was texting her, around half an hour before, like, hey, we have agreed to come, are you coming, something like that, like short reply, are you coming? No response. And I was making new plans, because this other girl already left, making some new plans. And that's what I say, here comes the database. That's why I'm inspired to make this video. So I had a little chat with, I think, 2 or 3 other girls, like, hey, like, how is your Saturday evening? um, I was planning to go to the city center, but I didn't really go in the end. What are you up to? And one of them replied, like, hey, let's meet today. I said, because she sent something like, can we meet today? And I didn't reply to that all day long because I'm naturally busy with this database thing. That's what I mean. And here it's around 9:30, 9:40. I reply. She said, like, today, question mark, and I say today. and she is online. I see that she replies, and I say like, come right now, come right now, and she comes. So this is something, and of course I have my own evening filled in this kind of way, because I've planned those 2 dates already, and even if that first one, which I which could be a flake, she in the end showed up and we had a good time. The second one flaked, but I have a replacement for that. And normally I don't like to think too much in terms of replacements and that kind of things, but here in this culture with so many flakes, so many promises that cannot be met, I'm kind of like forced to plan it like this, because otherwise you simply end up time after time just alone, you know. Just the evenings when if you have one thing planned and it's a bit like a loose, end up 2 3 nights, it's easily to end up, yeah, without what you want, you know. So it's, you have to adapt on that, and on the way I learn from it. But the thing is, having this other person now showing up, that's a result of the database, because I have some women now in my phone. But guys, what's most important, and that's what I want to talk about now, only for the focus, is just go into the experience of the girl that got cancelled on. We had an agreement about 10. She would be here in my place at 10. She did not show up. I've texted her the, hey, are you coming? And she said just around 10, or 1 minute before 10, or 1 minute after about 10, she said that she is sick and I should go to her place. At the time this message reached me, I already have this other woman showing up. So I don't respond to that message anymore. Even today, it's now almost 10 in the morning, I've not sent a reply yet. But just imagine what's going on in her world, you know? She expects a reply, like I'm online at 9:30, like, hey, where are you? Oh yeah, can you come to my place? No, I don't come to your place. I don't know where your place is, how far, what is it? This is not the, we didn't agree on this. And yeah, she experienced their silence. And this, guys, what I've have been doing in my early years a lot, is to fake this kind of stuff, where you see, where you're simply just alone, and you gotta reply like, hey, can you come to my place? Like, oh, now it's high value to just put off a little bit, while actually you wanna be close with someone, you know. But because you only have 1 or 2 people to chat with, you're faking stuff, because you have nothing else to do. You're just faking it. You're way too much involved in it. You're still looking at the phone like, did she read my message? Does she send anything? Is she wondering about me? You're still with your whole attention and focus on this one girl. But if you have this database, if you have more people you're interacting with, if you have more approaches on the street, or in bars or whatever, and you're connecting them, you overcome that little bit of instant fear to go talk to someone, then you naturally evolve into this. And it's amazing. Women can sense it, guys. Especially here in this, the moment where we live in, where I always say, we can in 2 or 3 days, even faster, we can go to any place in the world at a very cheap price. Flights are very accessible. If you look online with our Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram profiles, we even have access to a lot of people's inboxes. Not saying they, of course, will be read, but we have access to that. So we live in a world where we are really connected to all places, all people, you know, simply everything. If you look online, what's on YouTube, what's on the blogs, there's a lot of information online. So we are really connected with all these things. That does not mean that we feel a deep connection with people on a more human to human kind of level. But I'm talking about accessibility to, like, access, you know, we have access. By having this access, guys, that's also what women experience much more. And then it's really interesting because they have so much more access than years ago. They will also develop naturally a sense for men who have a lot or zero access to women. That's something they are now, they already always are, but they are now even more like on the apps and on the digital space, automatically screening and filtering for. If you come off as needy online or as too available, they will pick it up more easily, and you're just turning into a backup plan at the end of the list, you know. So it's important to think and work with this database. And I use now the word database. You can also use the word pool if you have a pool for women. Yeah, it works so much more easy. And I don't say this is the end game. That's like a soul nourishing, fulfilling end game to live in, to keep planning like this. But it's for sure a reality you must experience. And I'm still in contact here with a lot of men I meet along the way, and most of them they are having one, two, or three girls, and they are really, yeah, they are too involved. You know, they are too involved, and oh, she doesn't reply, she cancels. What to do, and they keep looking for the solution between him and that girl. Like, should I text something else? Should I have asked her another question? Should I, instead of looking at the bigger picture and having more options simply. It's the same as applying for a job, guys. If you write one letter and you send it out, you're every day checking your inbox like, ah, does this employer reply me? I hope to get this job, because if it fails I have to write a letter again, blah blah blah. There is a lot of attachment to this single letter in that scenario. But however, if you have, of course, an amazing employer you like to work for, but you have two or three other nice ones you send a letter for, and maybe five or six ones that is like, okay, let's see how this evolves. It may be a yes, it may even be a no, but I'll create a letter, I'll send it out, and it's good. And you have these kind of 10 things going on. That gives you a completely different frame and state of mind on which you might receive, let's say, this flake or this cancellation on this job interview for your favorite one. Because if your favorite one cancels, you still have these other ones going on. So you're not so attached to it. And that's something that can be picked up. Flipping back to the context of women. They pick up on this, on your fast responses, on your... They have a sense for this, guys, and they must have, because it's for women very vital to select a man that has options in his life. Which woman wants a man that has no options? Think about it. A man who has no options. Do you as a woman want that? No, of course not. Of course not. So they look for these things that are super important for them. Alright, guys. That was this one. See you in the next one, guys.